I asked multiple of the best Diablo players what is the best tips that they could give to new players or players that are just trying to get better at the game, and these 5 tips are exactly what they said. Before we get into today's video though, if you enjoy this type of content where we do gaming tips and tricks or game reviews, then don't forget to like and subscribe, as it severely helps out the channel and lets me know you guys want to see more. Besides that, let's get into it. Before we do anything, I am going to create a brand new character on seasonal because I want to make sure that I can give the best experience, so we will be swapping back and forth just in case there is stuff I can't show you on my main character. Alrighty everybody, there we go. I've created a character I like to call Jeve Sobs, of course, has no affiliation with Steve Jobs at all. So the very first thing I would recommend anyone doing is going around and getting Lilith shrines. Now, you might be asking, what do Lilith shrines do? Well, Lilith shrines are all around the map that you can find them in every single zone, and they add 68 points to your strength, dexterity, intelligence, willpower. It also gives you 4 extra skill points when you go into the later versions of the game. On top of that, by getting all the Lilith shrines automatically unlocked, you can start the game off with bonuses already as well, where you can get some bonus XP, you get 12 extra skill points to start the game off with, and on top of that, you get a total of 24 extra Paragon points. If you don't know what Paragon is, it is basically skill points, but it's like a more massive skill tree that you get once you get past level 60. So it's really important that you get the Lilith statues really early on. That way you don't have to get them later and you can start the game off with a bunch of free buffs. Not only is it free stats, but it's free skill points, and it's free bonus skill points as well, and free bonus XP. And it's so easy to do because you don't need the DLC. This area here is the DLC area, and there's no Lilith statues there, so you just have to go around the rest of the areas and find them. And you don't even have to find them yourself, and that's one of the most beautiful parts, is you can look up a full map on Google and just follow that map. And once you clear an area, as you can see, it will say Altars of Lilith 34 out of 34. That means that I have found 34 out of 34 in this zone. And every zone you go to, it will mark it off, so you don't have to mark it off yourself. That is exactly why I would recommend that anybody that is starting out in the game to go ahead and go grab all of your Lilith statues, unless obviously maybe you're playing the main campaign. But the instant second that you have a free second, go grab your Lilith statues. Next up on the list is going to be going to Google and going to mobalytics.gg. What is this site for, you may be asking? Well, this site is a build site. A lot of people use builds in this game. It is perfectly okay to use them, and it is perfectly okay not to use them. The people that make builds on this site play the game 24/7, and I'm not joking either when I say that. There is people who get paid to play this game because they have people pay them for carries, have people pay them for gear, whatever it is, they play the game non-stop. So they have amazing builds. Now, like I said, you're not forced to follow these, but any of these builds will instantly make you 10 times better at the game as long as you follow the build's instructions. There's so many times where I'll see people, they'll start doing a build, and they'll be like, man, these builds suck, I can't believe they are this bad. But people don't follow the instructions. So if you follow the build and try to get the gear, try to get the stats, and just try to really follow it to a T of what the build says, maybe even watch a YouTube video on it, you will instantly get 10 times better at the game. So now that you have your Lilith statues, maybe you played the main campaign, and you've really started to go through and figure out what your build is, what is going on next? Well, next up, we want to level up. I'm still level 1, right? I am 100% still level 1 because I skipped the main campaign. So what am I going to do? in your map, whether you're console, PC, whatever it is, there is going to be a social tab. I would recommend going to the social tab and hitting the find party option. And here you can find parties doing anything, whether that's seasonal events, dark citadels, the pit. The pit is basically just like spam dungeons. They are doing infernal hordes, which we'll get to that a little later. But we are currently level 1, so what does that mean for us? Well, that means that we can do one of two things. We can either do a looking for group for the pit and maybe see if someone carries us, or we can maybe go farm some XP in an area completely solo. And I would honestly recommend doing the second one, as farming it solo will just make you better at the game and make you understand your builds more. But maybe if you kind of understand how the game works on a more mechanical level, then go through and just find a group that will run you through the pit, and you can go from 1 to 60 in less than 15 minutes. Jeve Sobs is the best necromancer in the game. We've already got 2 more levels, laddies. Jeve Sobs, the hero of Kabach, and the hero of Diablo 4. What can't he do? Jeve Sobs is stuck. Where am I? I'm out of potions. It's the end of Jeve Sobs. I'll be reincarnated in the next world. Alright, rip Jeve Sobs. He'll get resurrected at some point in time. But I had to hop on the other character to finish this one now. Next up on the list is Master Crafting. What is Master Crafting, you might be asking? Master Crafting is where you upgrade your weapons, your armor, whatever it is where you upgrade them. So if we look at my inventory right now, let's say I hover over this hammer, you can see that this hammer looks to have a masterwork of 12, and it is a 2-star hammer. What does that mean? So the 2 stars is basically buffs that your hammer or your weapon, boots, whatever it is, indirectly get. So that is your stuff like your strength, your max life, and your vulnerable damage. It gives it an extra buff on top of your extra buffs, essentially. And then what is the Masterworking doing? Well, the Masterworking is giving you extra buffs. And you can't control what these buffs go into. It is a completely random drop with the 2 stars. But the Masterworking you can control a tiny bit. It is still very random, but when you Masterwork, you can continuously reroll until you get exactly what you want. It just costs more and more and more. So as you can see on this hammer in particular, with the star bonus on this plus the Masterworking, I have gotten 2 Masterworking levels into this, meaning it has gone up to 245% extra damage to vulnerable enemies. And the same thing with my strength as well. It has gone up to 472 extra overall strength towards my character because it has that star in it. So you want to be making sure that you are going through and masterworking all of your gear. And it's very easy to do this. So you grab a piece of gear that you want to masterwork, and you go to the blacksmith, and you're going to put the piece of gear in the blacksmith. And what it's going to cost is a good amount of gold, but it's also going to cost this thing called Obducite. You can get this from Nightmare Dungeons, Infernal Hordes, or the Undercity. The Undercity is a DLC thing, so don't worry about that if you aren't really able to get this too much. Nightmare Dungeons, in my opinion, are the easiest thing to get Obducite from because you can get them all throughout dungeons, and you can spam run them very, very quickly on Nightmare Mode. Nightmare Mode basically just means that they have like some extra stat bonus and maybe they're a little bit more difficult. But if you're at the part where you're already kind of worrying about getting Obducite, then that means that you are already at the point where you should be able to run Nightmare Dungeons or Infernal Hordes. So I'll show you it here. So as you can see, this has 0 Masterworking level on it. And what I'm going to do is upgrade this 4 times. So when you upgrade it once, it gives plus 5% to all stats, just in general. Plus 5% to all stats that are percentages, essentially. I'll show it to you again. So if we look here, 17%, chance for an earthquake. We upgrade, and it goes up to a 18%. Now you might be thinking, well, I thought you said 5%, but it's a 5% of the current stat. So it's not going up plus 5%, it's going up 5% of the stat that you have on, which is a little bit more complicated, and it's one of the things that a lot of Diablo players kind of complain about is they way overcomplicate it for absolutely no reason. But if we go ahead and we upgrade this 2 more times, we're going to get this animation here, and this is going to give us one stat that's going to majorly upgrade. So it gave us a plus 25% boost to the Hammer of Ancients skill on here, going it from a 8 to a 10, allowing this to be significantly stronger. And you can do this on any piece of gear in the entire game. You can masterwork. But the difference is when they are starred, you can masterwork them a total of 12 times for 3 significant upgrades, where if it's not starred at all, then you can only upgrade it a maximum of 8 times for a max of 2 upgrades. So the star does make a massive difference going into overall stats. So next up on the list, we're going to be talking about how to get gear in the game. There's a lot of different ways. You can do seasonal things, you can go run basic dungeons, you can run the pit, but all those ways kind of are really bad at getting you gear. So what I personally like to do is run Infernal Hordes, and that's what a lot of high-end players also recommend as well. You're going to find the one you want to use. So there is a 6 wave, a 8 wave, and a 10 wave. We're going to do one of these 10 waves because that's what's going to give us the most, but you can really do any of them that you desire. Once you click use, it is going to open up a spot on your map that you can instantly fast travel to, and you can go into the Infernal Horde. So when you're doing the Infernal Horde, we are going to try to build up this number in the top right hand corner from 0 as much as physically possible going into this. As you can see, round 1 is over. After every single round, when you come back to the center, you're going to be able to choose between 3 of these like little altar things. And basically, you want to choose what you think is going to be good for your character. My character moves a lot, so I usually like to go for as many enemies as possible so I can continue to be on the move. Anything that slows me down, I really am not a fan of. So Hellfire rains upon you, an extra 3 to 9. So I'm going to go for an extra 3 to 9 every wave. And it's basically just a buff to get you more of the resources you can use at the end. Alright, we just finished all the Helltides. We're going to go through the gate. There's going to be bosses over here we're going to have to fight. There is going to be 3, so be prepared for that. Boom. I like to try to get them as close as possible, so I can kind of nuke them down as much as possible. Especially because my build really relies on hitting multiple enemies at once. So if I can hit 2 at once, the better. I don't really think it matters the order that you destroy these guys in either. There we go. So not only when you kill this guy, he's gonna drop some gear, which gives you a chance to get starred gear. You can get starred gear at any point in time as long as you're in Torment, but you have a higher chance to get higher starred gear when you're in specifically Torment 4. So this guy just dropped a bunch of gear for on his body. This chest here costs us 200 of the tokens we were collecting that entire battle. So we're going to spend 200 tokens. See, we got a 1-star amulet there, but look how much drops. Like, all of this is a probability that we will get starred gear. 455 left over. Look at all of the resources that comes out of this. Look at all of that. Hundreds of resources. Almost 1,000 of the obducite that we need, and it's just so good. And if you get to the point where you don't need gear anymore and you don't need resources, you can just run these for gold instead. And it's just immeasurably good. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Hope you enjoyed. Leave in the comments below what you believe the best tip for Diablo 4 is. Maybe it's one that I said in this video. Besides that, don't forget to like, subscribe, and have a wonderful day. Peace.